Ladies and gents, welcome. My name's EZmode and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to talk to you about a new build which I have happened upon, which is kind of an evolution of the original Necro build, which I'm calling, I don't know, Necro Stealth Assassin build or something like that. So, at this point in the game, you will have not need to, it would be helpful if you'd unlock the dual crafting table. I'll explain why in a minute. Gem cutting table not so much, although it would be helpful, and you will need to have at least killed Leandra the Shadow Priestess so we can get the Spectral Assassin, yes, Spectral Assassin, and then Terra the Geomancer for the Spectral Guardian. So those two from the Illusion Tree. And the reason I say it would be useful if you had the dual crafting table, which you get from killing Leandra as well. So they all work in hand. So let's go through the build quickly, and then we'll go through a couple of examples. So try and make this really quick. You're using your dash ability is still the Veil of Chaos, which gives you a double dash, which is really important to get range. You get damage immunity for 2.2 seconds, and you do your illusions that you leave behind do some explosive damage, but that's not really the ultimate aim for using this travel ability. It's just that it gives you a double dash so you can get a lot of range. For the R ability, I'm using the Spectral Assassin. This is one of the new ones I just mentioned. It summons a Spectral Assassin at the target location and performs a heavy melee attack, dealing 125% magic damage to nearby enemies and knocking them back. So the knocking them back is the important bit. Also, weakening them, reducing damage output by 30% for 5 seconds. That's really important as well. We're also still running the Ward of the Damned, which when you block an attack, it will summon a skeleton. The whole point of using this, which is an 8-second cooldown, I believe, 9-second cooldown, and this, which is on a 9-second cooldown, is that you want to keep your enemies focused on your summons. So you can also use this and it'll cast skeletons as well. So you do that in a rotation, and you try and keep these up as often as possible. So once that's come off cooldown, you pop your shield and it'll summon some skeletons. Okay, fairly straightforward. Now the stealth element comes when we use the these glaives, the iron slashers. I could really do with upgrading those to the merciless iron slashers, but I haven't unlocked the recipe for that yet. So primary attack, fairly straightforward. The Q, dash back and forth, slashing at enemies, dealing physical damage and inflicting a slow. It's really important. Get the slow on as many people as possible if you're fighting a group. Now this is the really important one. Enter a state of camouflage, increasing movement speed by 25% for 3 seconds. You can use that as a getaway or a quick get in. I often use it as an ambush with an opener. You can't, the next bit, which is the primary attack deal, incapacitates the enemy for 2.5 seconds. That doesn't work on bosses. So whilst it's really good still for its stealth ability, and it's just basically you stealth, and then when you attack, it'll do a stun. Okay, so that in a nutshell is the build. In terms of gear, I'm running the Merciless Hollow Fang apart from the boots, which I don't have yet, but this is why we need the dual crafting table to be unlocked, ideally because we want the Misty Necklace. The Misty Necklace is really important. You get the spell power, which is good. It's the minus 15% ability cooldowns, so you can see that 9-second becomes actually less than 8. So you're looking at about a 7-second cooldown using that. Same for the shield. 6-second when the shields come off. So you can just keep those, spamming those in rotation, and you can keep the adds flowing, and then when they're up you can stealth, and you can attack from stealth, or you can do a snare and run away. It's very flexible build, but the point is that you hit and run. So you're jab and weave, duck and dive, whatever the phrase is. You're doing poke damage and then running away. It's good for boss fights. So far I've done a couple of bosses with this and it seems to be quite good. You can swap for the crossbow if the boss is doing too much damage at melee range and you want to try and keep some distance, so you can swap to the crossbow. That crossbow is really good if you're up against a caster as well, because it has an interrupt. So this skill here, which is an interrupt on a caster. So, but I tend to run this mostly with these slashers. So now let's go and find a group, and we can show you how it works. So we've just hit nighttime. One other thing I forgot to mention is you will, by this point in the game, have unlocked the prison. So I would strongly suggest that you invest some time in getting some prisoners and try and get them with a high blood percentage. Now I'm using this one with this build, which is the warrior blood type. So if I just take that quickly, it's only 68%, but you'll see that it gives me increased physical power, reduced weapon skills on cooldown, which is really important, and then reduced damage taken and 25% increased damage when striking enemies at full health. So it lends itself to this build, which is about reduced cooldowns and duck and dive, and we're doing most of the damage from these iron slashers, so the physical damage is really really handy to have. I'm actually at 56 at the moment because I'm using only the iron slashers, and I've got the hollow fang boots, but that will get up a bit higher. I am taking out level sort of 60 plus mobs with this without any problem whatsoever, but I just wanted to show you on these guys how it works. So you can do this a number of different ways. You can open with your shield like this, and then get away, and then drop your slasher in, stealth. Yeah, it's really handy. Pretty straightforward. And there you go. Let's go find a boss to kill, but you get the idea. It's really flexible. The other thing that you can use the this camouflage ability for is if you try to get away, if you get into a bit of an oh shit moment and you think the boss is going to smack your ass, you can just stealth. You get in and you can just stealth away behind a rock or something like that. And you get some really good range away from whatever's chasing you, and you can hide. So I'm going to go and find a boss, and we'll see how it fares in a boss fight. Okay, we've happened upon Terror the Geomancer. She's quite a bit lower level than us, but hopefully it'll give us a good idea to see how the build works. Obviously you're not going to spawn as many skeletons from the Ward of the Damned. She does spawn 2 adds, which you need to take out before you can damage her again. But
stones below.
And we won't get the stun. But let's just play with her for a bit.
Stones of Ardoran!
Okay, so they spawned the ads, so I now need to take the ads out, so we can use this. Spawn the Spectral Assassin and some ads as well. You see, it's just quite easy. It's a stick and move. You can let the ads do the work for you. And this will do the damage reduction as well, so when that hits, you'll see that it does a damage reduction. So whenever this gets hit by that, it's going to do a damage reduction, likewise with these as well. I love this build, it's really nice. Just a different take on the Assassin's build. So that didn't spawn any mobs, interesting.
Stones below, heed my call.
See, the cooldowns with that Misty Necklace as well are working handily.
Stones of Ardoran!
You can see I'm taking minimal damage. Now I know that I'm quite a bit higher level than this boss, but it's still the same if you're fighting sort of a higher level boss as well. It's just incredibly mobile. Really nice little build. Really enjoy playing it. And it feels like you're not having to do any work. That's the damage reduction again. It's quite a nice boss fight, this as well, really. Come on, give me a hit. Come on, give me a hit. There you go. And the damage reduction is really handy. Give me a hit, go on. Yeah. It feels like I'm letting all the my ads do all the work.
Speak for the earth of Bardor. You are nothing.
And there you go. So you can see I've taken minimal damage there. It is the same when you fight. It's basically just avoiding damage and letting your summoned mobs take all the aggro. So let's do a quick recap in case you didn't catch it all at the outset. You will be running with the Iron Slashers, whatever level Iron Slashers you can get. You will also ideally want to run with the Misty Necklace, so that will give you the cooldown reduction on your abilities of 15%. Then the skills that you want to be using are the Veil of Chaos Dash. If you wanted to, you could, if you wanted to, replace that with the Veil of Illusion. The Veil of Illusion does summon a mob that deals damage. Let's see there. So you could use that. And it will give you another add for distraction, but you only get the one dash then. I don't think you can double dash. You actually dash back. Yeah, so you could use that if you wanted to. I prefer to use the Veil of Blood because it's a double dash. Okay, and then you want the Spectral Assassin, which comes from the Illusion Tree, and you want the Ward of the Damned, which comes from the Unholy Tree, there to summon the skeletons. And then finally your ultimate ability, which we didn't use, is the Spectral Guardian. I'll show you that now. Basically the Spectral Guardian gives you it does a damage reduction as well. It's your ultimate ability, but it also applies a shield. It lasts for 7 seconds and the shield renews every 1.5 seconds. So if I show you on this mob here, this stone golem, so as summon this one, I'll give me a shield. You see I've got a shield. It also applies to any other mob that I spawn. It's obviously got a 2-minute cooldown, so. And there you go, ladies and gents. That is the build, and I'm going to run away from this dude now. That's the build in a nutshell. Spectral Assassin, Ward of the Damned, and not Howl. You want a Spectral Guardian for your ult. That's the oh shit moment. And that's it. Really fun build. I would highly recommend that you try playing with this because it's just so much fun. It makes so many fights easy, particularly on group fights where if, for example, you fight the boss in... Okay, it's here. The Forgotten Cemetery, there's a boss in the cemetery there. He spawns lots and lots of skeleton adds, and then if you wait for them to just run up to you, and when they're about to swing, you just pop your shield like that, you will summon a whole bunch of skeletons, and it's so much fun. It's just a massive war between skeletons. There you go, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found the build useful. Don't forget to subscribe, pretty please, with a big cherry on top. And if I find any more builds that are fun, I'll get them out to you ASAP. Thanks a lot. Bye.